My name is Cassie. I'm 35 years old. I married Wilfred 5 years ago. We initially wanted to have kids and even went through preconception care, but it just didn't happen. It was emotionally and physically draining, so we decided to give up on having children. I still love kids, and sometimes when I see a baby, I think, I wish we could have had one. But life with just Wilfred is peaceful, and I've come to appreciate that. Then one day, my brother-in-law and his wife showed up unexpectedly. Wilfred was at work, but I work from home, so I answered the door. To my surprise, my brother-in-law Curtis and his wife Isadora had large carry-on bags with them. Going on a trip? My guess was right. Isadora said, "Long time no see, Cassie. We're actually going to Bali." I really don't like Isadora. She and Curtis got married before Wilfred and I did. She once said to us, "You two are a perfect match, both missing the marriage boat." And I found it incredibly rude. Isadora loves to brag about Curtis working at a top-tier company. She never misses an opportunity to say, "My Curtis works at a prestigious company." And it's always annoying. What I hate the most is her making fun of our infertility. She knew we were doing preconception care, but said, "Doesn't preconception care feel unnatural? Will a child born that way even grow up properly? A naturally born child is always best, like our daughter Sasha." So it wasn't surprising that she came to brag about her trip to Bali. I was about to say, "Have a good trip," and close the door when Isadora said, "Wait," and pushed her 3-year-old daughter Sasha towards me. "We came to leave Sasha with you. She's too young to appreciate Bali. We'll be gone for a week, so take good care of her." "Excuse me?" Still stunned, Isadora went on. "Sasha has dry skin, so please apply cream after her bath. Oh, and she usually goes to bed at 8, so make sure she's asleep by then. She's potty training, so take her to the toilet as much as possible. And absolutely no eggs. She's allergic." "Wait. What?" "No, I can't do this. You can't just drop this on me." I tried to refuse her overwhelming demands, but Isadora ignored me. She tilted her head and smirked. "Cassie, you were doing preconception care, right? You wanted kids. I thought you'd be happy to look after a child you couldn't have, even if it's just for a week." Her words were so shocking, I couldn't say anything. Isadora dropped one more bombshell before leaving. "Take good care of Sasha. Oh, and don't leave her with my mother-in-law. I can't stand her." "Sasha, listen to your aunt, okay?" Curtis patted Sasha's head, and they left for their trip. Sasha and I stood dumbfounded at the doorway. When she realized she'd been left behind, she started to cry. I hurriedly took her inside. I'd wanted kids but had almost no experience with them. I didn't know what to do with a crying Sasha, so I tried to soothe her by saying, "It's okay," and showing her some cartoons on TV. Finally, she calmed down. Sasha had a small backpack with 3 diapers and a change of clothes for 1 day. Even with no parenting experience, I knew this wasn't enough for a week. Isadora often says, "This is why poor people," about us, but if she thinks we're poor, why didn't she leave any money for Sasha's care? My frustration grew. Isadora hates my mother-in-law, but I don't. I immediately called her for help. "I'm sorry to ask this so suddenly," I explained over the phone. "Oh my, what a situation!" she exclaimed and rushed over. My mother-in-law is straightforward, and often misunderstood as harsh, but I like her cheerful and no-nonsense personality. "Grandma!" "Sasha, long time no see. How have you been?" Sasha was thrilled to see her. Isadora never visited her in-laws, but when she was away for work, Curtis would often leave Sasha with my mother-in-law. Of course, we kept it a secret from Isadora. "My Sasha has become quite the talker. Curtis can't keep secrets, so he stopped leaving her with me. It's nice to see Sasha after so long," said my mother-in-law, genuinely happy. Sasha seemed happy too. So when my mother-in-law asked if she could take her, I said, "Please do." That night, Wilfred came home. When I told him what happened, he was furious. "Isadora knew we wanted kids, and still said that? You handled it well, Cassie. I would have lost my temper," he said, making me feel a bit better. A week later, a tanned Curtis and Isadora came to pick up Sasha. Wilfred had taken the day off, so we both confronted them. When we told them we'd left Sasha with my mother-in-law, Isadora's face twisted in anger. "I told you not to leave her with my mother-in-law. I hate her. Sasha likes her for some reason, and it bothers me." "Isadora, could you not openly say you hate someone's mother? It's rude," Wilfred calmly replied. Isadora glared at me. "I left Sasha with you out of goodwill. You both wanted kids, so I thought you should experience what it's like. It's not all fun and games, and you trampled on my goodwill by not even listening to my simple request. That's low." Her audacity left me cold. I snapped. People probably got mad at this. I confronted Isadora with the words that came to my mind, which had become strangely calm. "The ones who are low are you and Curtis." "What? Why didn't you take Sasha on your trip? You say she's too young to appreciate ballet, but you just didn't want the hassle. And leaving her for a week with only 3 diapers and 1 change of clothes, what's that about?" "Well, would you normally leave your egg-allergic child with someone else, even a relative? Allergies can be life-threatening. And Sasha cried when you left. Did you even consider how she'd feel being abandoned for a week?" Isadora and Curtis were speechless. Finally, Isadora forced out some words. "But I left Sasha with you out of goodwill, Cassie. You work from home. You have time. We're family. You could help a little with childcare. Or is it because you're poor and you didn't get paid for babysitting?" As I sighed at Isadora's relentless need to belittle me, Wilfred, standing next to me, spoke up. "Listen, Isadora, you keep calling us poor, but I think we earn more than you do. I work for a top international company, and Cassie makes twice as much as Curtis." As he said this, he pointed to a character merchandise displayed in our entryway. "Recognize this character? Cassie designed it." "What?" Isadora and Curtis looked stunned, and for good reason. I'd never told them, not wanting to brag. But I was the designer of a character everyone knows. Designing its illustrations and merchandise is my main job, but I also illustrate children's books and create corporate mascots. I'm far from idle at home. I had no idea Cassie was such an amazing illustrator. "Hey, Cassie, give me an autograph. I want to show off at work." I couldn't hide my disdain as Curtis stepped forward, ignoring his stunned wife, and asked for an autograph. No. I refused, but he kept begging. "Come on, please." Just then, my mother-in-law walked up from behind Isadora and Curtis. "Ah, Mom." Wilfred noticed her, and Isadora quickly turned around. Isabella told her mother-in-law to bite. "Mother-in-law, thank you for taking care of Sasha. We'll take her back now." "No, I'll keep Sasha for a while longer." "What? What are you talking about, Mom?" Isadora and Curtis half smiled, thinking my mother-in-law was joking, but she was serious. "Have you been feeding Sasha properly?" My mother-in-law had been concerned that Sasha was smaller than other kids her age. After cooking for her every day, being mindful of her egg allergy, Sasha had said, "Mom and Dad never cook." It seems that Isadora and Curtis found it too much of a hassle to prepare meals for their 2-year-old daughter Sasha, who has an egg allergy, so they've been giving her store-bought baby food. You can't blame anyone for calling this neglect. I've reported you to Child Protective Services. I've also offered to take care of Sasha for a while, so you two should go home," said the mother-in-law who had worked as a public health nurse for many years and was very knowledgeable about child development. Although she had always been suspicious, she had turned a blind eye, thinking it was wrong to doubt her own son and his wife. But after spending a week together, she decided that she couldn't ignore the situation any longer. After a heated argument at the front door, Isadora and Curtis retreated, unable to withstand the mother-in-law's forcefulness. "I'm sorry for causing such a scene. Don't worry, I'll take care of Sasha," she said before leaving. Within a month of this big commotion, Curtis showed up unannounced at our house. Apparently, his affair had been discovered. He had lied about going on a business trip abroad and was caught meeting his mistress. Isadora kicked him out. Initially, he went to his parents' house, but since Sasha was there, his father-in-law kicked him out. And he had no choice but to come to our place. Of course, we have no obligation to hide Curtis at our house, so Wilfred and I flatly refused. "We have no obligation to harbor you. Why don't you find a hotel?" we told him. And he left, shoulders slumped. In the end, Isadora and Curtis divorced. Curtis gained sole custody and moved back in with his parents after apologizing. I've heard from my mother-in-law that he's working hard to be a good dad to Sasha now, I learned. Isadora, who had not been properly raising Sasha, lost custody and broke down crying during the negotiations. She quit her job and returned to her parents' home in the countryside. It was pitiful to see Isadora, who had always acted so superior, end up broken and retreating to the countryside.
"Auntie, did you come to play again today?"
"Yeah, what should we play today?"
"Let's play house. You be the baby, and Sasha would be the mom."
"Sure." I started visiting my in-laws to play with Sasha during my work breaks. Both my in-laws and Curtis, who works during the day, are grateful for it. "I really appreciate you being so good to Sasha," Curtis told me recently. But even without their gratitude, I'm just happy to be friends with Sasha. When she lived with Isadora and Curtis, she often had a doll-like expression. But now she shows a lively, childlike smile. And above all, I love my picture books. And she absolutely loved the picture books I bring from work, which boosts my motivation even more.